Hi, my name is Jade Handy. Today we're going to talk about when you have to raise rates on a current customer. That's never a fun thing. Nobody ever wants to do it, but the sheer fact of good business practices demand that you raise your fees and rates over time. Inflation happens and your costs increase and you have to pass that on to the customer. That's just how the game works. And nobody wants to do it. Here's what I'd recommend. First of all, if you don't have to, then don't. Consider just selling the new higher rate to new customers, and consider selling new customers instead of just making more money off existing customers. There's nothing wrong with raising your prices, obviously. It's part of business. However, go through all the pluses and minuses of raising your rates or not raising your rates. You might find that if you have a low number of customers, that you're going to have to raise them too much, and that's going to be too impactful. But if you have thousands of customers, if you raise them just a little bit, they're not going to notice that as much, and they're not going to push back as much. So check your business model and the size of your customer base, and consider attrition, because the fact is, if you raise your rates, almost inevitably you're going to lose some customers, and you need to decide whether or not it would be worth it. The fewer customers you have, the more you can afford to lose. The more customers you have, the less attrition is going to make to your bottom line, and might even benefit it. On another program, we'll talk about how raising your rates can actually increase business. I've seen that happen as well. So now, after you decide that you are going to be doing it, check your attitudes and beliefs and feelings about that. Because if you're feeling bad about it and you're feeling like you're not being fair to your customer, then that's going to come across to your customer. They're going to feel that, and they're going to wonder why they're getting a different feeling than the words that you're saying. So it is going to come across as unfair if you're feeling like you're being unfair. So always check that. And again, realize that this is a part of doing business, and frame it as it is, but not worse than it is. The other thing is, before you go ahead and have that conversation with your customers, whether it be email or phone or belly-to-belly or however you do it, review the performance that you've been able to provide for the customer. Review your performance and the results they've gotten. Do a quick testimonial, good problem, solution, result type of format. Janet, before you came and worked with us, you were having this problem, and we seem to have solved that, and now your sales are up 20%. Whatever it is, I have a different video on testimonials, but do a quick testimonial, a performance review of yourself, so that puts them in a positive state of mind about doing business with you. Get their juices going. Remind them of all the great things that they've got from doing business with you. The other thing is, don't bring up an objection if they haven't brought it up, because the fact is they might not even mind paying a little bit more for your service. In fact, they may wonder why you haven't been charging more, especially if it's a relatively small amount. Let's say you're charging them several $1,000s a year. You raise your prices $50, probably not a big deal. You're charging them $100 and you raise them $50, it's probably a big deal. It's a 50% increase. So but again, if they don't object to it, don't bring it up front either. If it's not raised, don't raise it. The other thing is, consider using positive framing words. Frame it as a positive, because it is. Mr. Customer, I'm looking forward to continuing to work with you. Mr. Customer, I'm looking forward to being able to continue to work with you. And then frame it as a positive, and it's just a little bit if you have to say that. The other thing is, use what I call a two-word reframe. Even though, Mr. Customer, even though we're raising our prices, we're still going to give you the same discounted rate that you've been enjoying off of the new retail rate. So you're still going to get the discount that you've been getting. Even though we're raising our prices, we're going to be able to stay in business and continue to serve you, because that's the reality of the fact. Remember, frame it as it is, and as it is, but don't frame it worse than it is. And then always compare the number against the new non-discounted rate, so that even if they're going to be paying more, you're still comparing it against the highest number that they could be getting charged. That's always going to frame it in a positive light. And so take those piece of advice into account when you're considering whether to do it, when you're doing it, and then look forward to enjoying a longer customer relationship because you have framed it as a positive. Mrs. Customer, I'm excited to announce that we're going to be able to continue doing business. We're going to be able to continue giving a discounted rate, whatever that is. It's always a positive. Thanks for listening and watching. Please comment so I know how you feel about this video and maybe some ideas that you've employed in order to lessen the impact of raising your prices with current customers. You can reach me at email@jadehandy.com. You can also follow me on linkedin.com/in/jadehandy. All one word, lower space, all lowercase, no space. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.